In the year 1692, an earthquake struck Jamaica and decimated the city of Port Royal, loosely built upon the shores. Known as the wickedest city in the world, Port Royal has become a busy port for privateers and pirates. With treasures and fortunes now buried in the sands, crews will fight to reclaim them. Welcome to Port Royal, presented by Miniature Game Montage. And welcome back, it's great to have you with us. My name is Jimmy, I'll be your host for this game of Port Royal by Firelock Games, where forces of the English crown have landed in the aftermath. Charles Stoddard is an English captain with sword and pistol. His lieutenant is Henry Voss, who carries a sword and 2 pistols, and they have an NCO, Eldon Buckley, with sword and musket. In their crew are 2 soldiers with sword and musket and a militia with pike. Also operating in the area is a Dutch force of Kapers. They are captained by Luke Eggins, and he carries a sword and pistol. Dirk Jagers is their lieutenant with a sword and musket, and Jan Beckman is a mate with dagger and 2 pistols. For crew, they have a landsman with sword and musket and 2 seamen, one with dagger and blunderbuss, and the other with dagger and pistol. The forces being played today are from the Port Royal faction packs, and if you're interested in finding out more about the game, I'll put non-sponsored links in the descriptions below. I'll also add that this is our first game of Port Royal, so you can help us improve. If you see anything odd or rules that we just got wrong, be sure to leave a comment down below. In today's scenario, the English forces have been ambushed. All of the English forces will deploy within 4 inches of the center, while the Dutch forces deploy on the board edges. Crews will be fighting over 5 plunder tokens that dot the board, as well as trying to keep themselves out of harm's way. Let's see what story unfolds. As we get to turn 1, the English forces play 2 fortune in an attempt to gain the initiative. With a 7+ tie on the initiative roll, a random event takes place, and a corpse is unveiled on the board. The corpse will force a resolve check for any characters starting or ending their activation within 4 inches of it. The smell is already unnerving some of the nearby Dutch forces. Let's get to tableside for turn 1, where the English forces will be up, as they did play fortune to win the initiative. In the opening turn, an English soldier moving into the alleyway will get a reaction from a Dutch landsman. He needs a 6+ in order to react to his move, but he fails. The English soldier opens fire with his musket at medium range, so he will need 7s, does not get any, so we'll use a point of fortune to re-roll the dice. He gets 3 successes, targeting the seaman in the open who needs 9s. He only gets 1 success, so there will be 2 damage rolls out with a -2 penalty. We'll be looking for 8 ups, and he does get 1, and he takes the seaman down. And an excellent first strike from the English forces, as we do have another soldier moving to a window in the top of the building, getting a reaction from the Dutch, which is successful. The Dutch reaction comes from another seaman, this one with a blunderbuss, and his reaction is to move, getting into cover. A shot at the mate at long range needs 8s. He does get 1, but 9s are needed from the mate to save, as he is in the open. He does not get any, so 1 damage die coming out, needing an 8 or better, and he will take a fatigue. The soldier uses a point of fortune to reload his musket, as the lieutenant comes over with his first action and uses his second to interact with the plunder token, picking it up. The English NCO is going to move along the bridge, and the Dutch captain sees this and will attempt to react. A 5-up experience test has failed. He uses a point of fortune to try to manipulate this, but it does not work. The NCO opens fire with his musket, needing an 8, and lands 1 hit. The captain in the open needs 8s as well, and he does get 1 to deflect the damage, as a point of fortune is used for a 3rd action. The NCO moves into the nearby building. The English captain moves forward. This does draw a nearby reaction to reload from the landsman. That reaction is successful on a 6+, as the captain continues to move forward. He is going to use a point of fortune for a 3rd action, firing his pistol. The captain fires at medium range, needing an 8, and while he does get 1, the landsman does not get any, but he will use a point of fortune to re-roll all of these dice, looking for a 9 or better as he is in the open. He does get 1 to deflect the shot. And the English will hold their militia in the bottom of the building. As turn 1 draws to a close, we move to the Dutch. And the landsman moves first, as a reaction on a 5+ is good from the captain to reload his pistol. The landsman opens fire at short range, needs 7s. He does get 1 with his musket. The captain in the open needs 8s, and he does not get any. 1 damage roll on an 8 or better is good to take the captain out of action, but he does have fate. In an attempt to stop it on a 5+, he does not get it. The captain is taken down. And the twist in the scenario is vendetta, so the captain is actually worth 3 strike points. The Dutch continue with sending their lieutenant forward, and the English soldier at the bottom of the alley will attempt to reload, and that's good. The lieutenant will continue to move forward as he is going to get into cover, and then a point of fortune will be used for an extra action as he is going to pick up the plunder token. The Dutch captain does need to see a 5-up resolve near the corpse. That does fail. Point of fortune is used to pass that on the second time. As he moves into cover, an English soldier fails his reaction and a shot opens up with his pistol at long range. Needing 8s, he gets 1 success, and there are no successes on the defensive side. 1 damage roll is taken, needing a 9 up, and he gets a 9 and takes the English soldier out. Skirting along the bottom, a Dutch seaman is going to start making his way towards the building, moving twice. He uses a point of fortune for an extra action to go concealed, as a mate is going to move up to the wall, getting a reaction from the soldier to reload. The mate moves again and will use a point of fortune for an extra action to interact with the plunder token, picking it up. And as turn 1 comes to a close, a deadly firefight broke out in the streets. 1 Dutch fighter was taken down, and the English secured a plunder token, giving the Dutch 2 strike points. Dutch Kapers were able to take down the English captain, worth 3 strike points due to vendetta. They also occupied 2 objectives and took down a soldier for 6 total strike points. As we look to turn 2, both sides using 3 fortune points up front to try to win the initiative in case of a tie. The English crown does have more 7-ups than the Dutch and will take the initiative. And up first, the English move their NCO forward just slightly. A reaction from the landsman is no good. The NCO opens fire, needing to see 7s, and he will get 2 of them at medium range. The landsman is in the open and needs to see 9s and will not get any. 2 damage rolls will come out, and the landsman is taken down. In a nearby building, English militia is going to make a move. This will get a reaction from the nearby seaman, and that is going to fail as he needed a 5+. A point of fortune is used but cannot change his fate as the English militia makes another move, getting into combat with his pike. He thrusts this pike forward, needing a 7, gets 2 successes. The seaman is capable in hand-to-hand combat, needs 6s, but does not get any, and fortune cannot change his fate. With 1 damage, a 10 is rolled, and he is taken down. In a nearby building, a soldier is going to use his first action to reload. This will get a reaction from the Dutch, but it fails. A shot erupts from the building with 1 success, but the Dutch mate rolls a success of his own. The English lieutenant takes a free action to drop his plunder token as he moves to the window. The Dutch lieutenant reacts by firing at the English lieutenant. His shot fails to find the mark as the English lieutenant returns fire. While there is no damage on the first exchange, the English lieutenant plays a point of fortune to fire his other pistol. The result of the second pistol shot is 2 successes, but the Dutch lieutenant will roll up, needing 7s to negate 1, using a point of fortune to re-roll these dice, still just negating 1. The damage roll just leaves him fatigued as he passes his resolve test. As the turn swings over to the Dutch, the mate is going to attempt to fire into the militia, who will attempt to react but fail. A shot rings out, needing 8s, which will result in 2 successes. The militia rolls 1 success of his own, needing 9s as he is in the open. A damage roll is just going to be a 1, and he will fail resolve and take 2 fatigue. Meanwhile, the Dutch captain is going to move, and another reaction will take place. The militia can't pass his experience test, however, as the officer reloads and uses a fortune to fire his pistol. 1 success is cancelled by the militia's success, and our second turn comes to a close. And in turn 2, the English did successfully eliminate another Dutch fighter, giving the Dutch another strike point. The English did drop one of their plunder tokens, however, and the English will have to take a strike test, and this will be on the lieutenant's resolve of a 4+, which is good. Both forces, again, using 3 fortune points to try to get the initiative. And the Dutch will take it as the lieutenant will go conceal. The captain uses an action to reload his pistol. The reaction is going to fail, and he fires at the militia again. With no damage, points of fortune could not change the outcome a second time. The mate holding a plunder token is going to go conceal as well behind the wall. The English lieutenant will use an interact to secure the plunder token once again, as the soldier moves to the bottom and gets a reaction from the captain of the Dutch forces to reload his pistol. And that reload is successful, but a musket is incoming. With 2 successes, the captain rolls 3 successes, and the shot means nothing. Points of fortune are used by both sides to no avail. Lastly, a militia will rally, removing his fatigue, successfully passing his test, as the NCO will use 2 move actions to get to the bottom of the building and use a fortune point to interact with the objective, picking it up. Turn 3 comes to a close, with the English slowly clawing their way back into this game despite having their captain out of action. With plunder tokens now in possession of most of the characters, they will have to drop 1 if they want to take 2 actions during their turn. Both sides are desperately trying to get initiative and continue to throw 3 fortune points at the pot in an attempt to steal it. The initiative goes to whoever can get more 7s, and this time it is the English crown. First militia moves forward, anxious to get into hand-to-hand combat, but the mate has another pistol and fires. The initial shot sails wide, and a fortune point will be used by both sides to re-roll the dice. 2 successes are landed from the mate, while only 1 defensive save is made. With 2 failed damage results, 2 resolve tests are taken, and 1 will be failed. He's going to suffer 3 fatigue and become shaken. Along the back of the building, one of the soldiers will attempt to reload his weapon. The captain passes an experience test and fires his pistol. With 1 success being in the open, the soldier needs to see a 9 in order to generate a save. He does not get it. He does use a point of fortune and still is unable to get it. Damage rolls out. The soldier does take a fatigue. In the window, the lieutenant is going to use an action to move, as he does carry a plunder token. The NCO moves into cover and uses their last point of fortune to fire his musket, which has been loaded. His shot sails wide against the concealed Dutch lieutenant. As we move to the Dutch turn, we do see a charge from the mate. Thrusting with his dagger, he needs to see a 7 or better. He does get 1. The militia, however, cannot generate any defense. The damage roll is a 10, however, and takes the militia down. Staying with the Dutch, the captain moves forward as the soldier does reload his musket. The captain then charges into combat with the soldier, wielding a sword, but fails to generate a hit. The British roll is excellent, and they're going to go ahead and use their point of fortune for the Dutch to try to generate some offense, but it does not work. The lieutenant is then going to move and use a point of fortune to go conceal once again. And as the turn comes to a close, the British do have more strike points and will need to take a strike test. They do successfully pass and stay on the field. And in a roll-off using 3 fortune each, the Dutch will take turn 5 initiative. And the captain activates first, swinging his sword and landing a critical and 2 hits. The soldier attempts to deflect what he can, using a point of fortune to try to get a reroll, but it's not going to work. He is no match for the captain and is cut down. The captain then continues to move around the building and out of line of sight. And passing on their other activations, the British take a few turns to try to do anything they can, but their efforts do not pay off, and our battle comes to an end. The British were taken by surprise in this one against the Dutch forces, and for today, they will pull back from this section of Port Royal. And as we turn to the post-game of a Dutch victory, one of their crew members was found dead. The others were able to make a full recovery. Over on the English side, one of the soldiers and one of the militia died, while one of the soldiers made a full recovery. The captain rolled up for a slow recovery, rolling up for a 55. We did have a few advancements, as the Dutch captain will increase his shoot skill by 1. The mate is going to gain Fate 1. They did find 15 pieces of income, had expenses of 7, and in exploration found a duckfoot pistol, which is 1 use per game. It is a pistol that has blast 3. They give that to the captain. Over for the English side, the lieutenant gains Fate 1, the NCO gains a point for his shoot skill. They rolled up for a natural 10 on income, getting 25 pieces and finding a piece of equipment, which is climbing gear. They assigned that to their NCO, and they had expenses of 7 pieces. In exploration, they found some barrels of rum, but they did not enjoy it too much. We look forward to seeing you in Port Royal again in the near future. Again, let me know what you thought of the game. I'm happy to read those comments down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Supporters Club, your names are on the screen now, and that's by no means necessary. I'm one of those people where I ask for absolutely nothing. We will see you in the next one. Take care.